Recently, our country has witnessed catastrophic devastation. Hurricanes and flooding have upended lives and livelihoods.
Across this great country, Americans have answered the call.
That special calling that compels us, when others are down, to step up and do whatever it takes.
America's at her best when, against all odds, we come together and lift each other up.
Please donate to oneamericaappeal.org. America needs you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Look at you. You're at the top of your game. You're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Yeah, I saw that coming. That will throw you off track. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Football adds a sweet story to the South's oldest rivalry, and basketball rises to surpass expectations. This and more on Sports Night in Auburn. Good evening and welcome to Sports Night in Auburn. I'm Hayden Desmond.
And I'm Kennedy McKnight. Thank you for joining us tonight.
The oldest rivalry in the Deep South officially added a new story to its chapter on Saturday. Number 10 Auburn welcoming the number 1 ranked Georgia Bulldogs in their pursuit of their first college football playoff appearance. The Auburn crowd loud from the start, but it was Georgia to capitalize first. On Georgia's first drive of the game, Nick Chubb in the Wildcat formation and pushes his way into the end zone to give the Bulldogs the early lead. Georgia fans have something to cheer about, but Auburn made sure it was the only positive moment of the game. Jarrett Stidham takes his time in the pocket to find Darius Slayton downfield, who comes back for the ball and bounces his way in for the 42-yard score. The Auburn momentum would only steamroll from there. On this play, Carrion finds an outside lane and is off to the races before diving into the end zone to seal his team's fate. Auburn would go on to upset the number 1 team in the country, 40-17.
Getting some momentum, we hit a couple big plays, and then we got the second half. And in the fourth quarter, I just felt like, we really won the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball.
Football has to first go through ULM Saturday morning before they welcome in-state rival Alabama in 2 weeks. Now, how about that Georgia game? Auburn's defense only holding them to 49 rushing yards.
I know, and I know that Gus Malzahn is so happy because not only was it a big win for him, it is his second win against UGA.
Definitely.
With their win over Georgia, the Tigers have made their climb back to the top of the poll, coming at number 6 in the college football playoff rankings. We'll break down the week's poll later this evening.
If you didn't know, basketball has been facing a slew of adversity even before the season tipped off. But could the Tigers rise above the noise to get their first win of the season? How they did after the break.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate. It's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
It's a beautiful day out here. Sunny today with light breezes, giving way to clouds in the afternoon. We could see some light precipitation to moderate precipitation later on, followed by powerful storm-like conditions. 90 miles per hour winds are expected. Authorities are asking everyone, stay indoors. Come on, that's it. Let's go.
Hoping for a crisp breeze to help keep you alert. Oh, he took a sip of water too. That'll probably help. You were probably gonna turn down the radio too, so you could focus, right?
Probably okay isn't okay.
Right?
If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
I think the water line is what really drove it home. I blew on him.
Football wasn't the only team to win big at home. Basketball tipped off Friday night facing much adversity. Auburn opening their regular season welcoming Norfolk State. The Tigers waste no time to settle into the game. Jared Harper uses his tunnel vision to find Mustafa Heron for the alley-oop to start off the game. The Tigers take the early lead, but the Spartans start to rally. Stephen Whitley taking on the quarterback role to find Preston Bungie down the court for the layup. Norfolk State's rally is halted by Bryce Brown, who puts the Tigers on his back for the rest of the game. Anthony McElmore with the one-touch pass to Bryce Brown, who lofts it in for Auburn. Auburn takes the lead 15-7, and Brown continues to roll. Brown finishes with 31 to help Auburn win it 102-74.
Bryce Brown picked up where he left off in Italy. He did lead us in scoring in Italy. I thought he was really, he was terrific tonight.
Basketball will take a couple days off before traveling to the Charleston Classic.
Since basketball's win, Auburn Athletics placed 2 members of the men's basketball support staff on administrative leave. Jordan Verhulst and Frankie Sullivan have been placed on administrative leave until further notice due to ongoing federal investigation into the men's basketball program. Verhulst is a special assistant to head coach Bruce Pearl, and Sullivan is a video coordinator for the team.
Football wasn't the only team to welcome a top-ranked opponent, Georgia, to the Plains this weekend, and just how did soccer do while going dancing in the big dance? We have the answer for you coming up.
Open road, here comes the Heffley family.
Whether it's a short trip or a long haul.
Estimated time, 47 hours.
They will beg.
You're hungry? I'm happy to provide.
They will plead.
Deep fried butter on a stick.
But whatever you do, don't wimp out.
Now you're talking.
Make them buckle up.
He can't hurt.
Remember, safety first. Cheese curls second.
Are you orange?
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
When I get all steamed up, then I shout.
Tip me over and pour me out. Oh.
It only takes a moment to make a moment.
Cheers.
Take time to be a dad today.
Volleyball closed out their second of 2 home games Sunday, welcoming Kentucky. The first set close, but Kentucky took the set 28-26. Kentucky continued their lead through the second and final set to sweep Auburn 3-0.
We're going in a lot of things you got to work on. I mean, every day we got to get better.
Volleyball will look to bounce back from their loss on the road this coming week.
Soccer went dancing Friday in the first round of the NCAA tournament, welcoming Hofstra. It was Bree Folds' goal in the 64th minute to get the Tigers on the board. Her goal would be the deciding factor, with Auburn going on to win 1-0 and moving on to the second round of the tournament.
There wasn't just one Tiger basketball team on the court this past week. Women's basketball tipped off their regular season at Virginia Tech Monday. Auburn would fall to the Hokies 72-63. Deja Alexander would lead the Tigers in scoring, finishing with 19 with teammate Janiah McKay, falling behind with 15 points. The loss drops Auburn to 0-1 on the season.
Football wasn't the only team to host the #1 ranked Georgia Bulldogs. #3 Equestrian did as well. However, this one has a different ending. Georgia would defeat Auburn at home 12-8, with junior riders Ashton Alexander and Betsy Brown headlining the Auburn roster, each earning MOP honors. The loss moves the Tigers to 2-2 on the year.
This week's Player of the Week is Bree Foltz. Foltz led the Tigers to 1-0 win over Hofstra in the first round of the NCAA tournament. She scored the only goal and was named to the National Team of the Week.
If you're wondering just how Auburn football pulled off a total rout of Georgia, our sports director has the answer. Sarah P's Fast 5 after this. You're watching Eagle Eye TV, Auburn's news leader.
For all the papas out there, let's stop what we're doing and take a moment. A moment to be with our kids. They can be loud moments, goofy moments, sporty moments, dorky moments, kooky moments. Moments where we talk or walk or just hang out. It doesn't really matter. They all count because every time dads take a moment to be with their kids, well, it's pretty momentous. So let's all take a moment to make a moment today.
I'm Ferdinand. You look at me and think big. You think scary, but I'm a little misunderstood. Funny! Sorry, I almost killed you. We've all been misunderstood. You're not a fighter.
Oh, I don't understand that at all.
Kids with learning and attention issues like dyslexia and ADHD are misunderstood too. Take the time to understand.
Best plan ever!
With the right support, everyone can reach their full potential because you can't judge a bull by his cover. Learn more at understood.org.
Football shocked the nation with a major rout of the #1 team in the country. I break down the now #6 Auburn Tigers to give you my Fast 5. Good evening. I'm Sarah Polcheski. Thanks for joining me. Auburn's win over Georgia was not a surprise to some, but by winning 40-17 is what stunned sports enthusiasts everywhere. With the Tigers still having to go through one more #1 team in the next 2 weeks, I break down the good and the party from their win over Georgia to show you what it means moving forward. So let's get started. #1, the defensive front. Coming into the game, Georgia had the 10th best rushing offense in the country. Well, Auburn made sure their run game wasn't just stopped, but totally annihilated. The defensive line and linebackers held the Bulldogs to 49 total rush yards, the fewest UGA has had all season. Here's how this obliteration of the run game broke down.
On this key 3rd and 1 play, the Auburn defensive line is able to push the offensive line out of their way to give Trey Matthews a clear path to Sonny Michel.
With the Tigers having to go through another #1 team in the country, in 2 weeks, they will once again have to stop another top rushing offense. By totally demolishing the Georgia run game, the Tigers show lots of promise for being able to stop the Crimson Tide running backs. Now to the best player on the team for #2. Kerryon Johnson. Kerryon has been by far and away the best player on both sides of the football for Auburn. He leads the team in touchdowns with 17 and is closing in on a 1,000-yard rushing season, which he kind of passed it against Georgia. However, these stats have barely been noticed throughout the country, and Gus Malzahn had something to say about that.
Kerryon Johnson, I mean, I've been saying it for a couple weeks. He's one of the best running backs in the country, if not the best. He proved it tonight, and he needs to be in the Heisman talk.
Well, if Gus thinks Kerryon should be in the Heisman conversation, then he obviously should be in the conversation, in my opinion. Kerryon will be a key factor for Auburn moving forward. If the Tigers want to make a run for the national title, they will have to do it on the back of Kerryon.
On to number 3, the sideline party. If you have been living under a rock the past week, then you probably don't know about this, but Auburn had a total dance party on the sideline during the 4th quarter of the game. The team danced to Crank That by Soulja Boy, a sort of payback for the 2007 loss to Georgia, as the clock was winding down at the end of the game. Watching this from the sidelines was probably one of the best moments for me of the season. However, I was shocked Gus allowed this to happen. And I guess everyone else was too, because Gus had this to say Tuesday.
Our guys have worked extremely hard, and I want our guys to have fun playing the game. And so that was kind of one of those things that I want them to do. Obviously, when you win big, it's funner, okay? But, you know, I want our guys to be a little looser, you know, and really I want to be a little looser. And I want to have fun myself.
This party-like atmosphere and in finding the joy in playing the game is a very good mindset for this Auburn team to have. Considering this having fun while playing mentality has been working well since their loss at LSU, I would say the Tigers better stick to it moving forward. Now, an issue turned positive for number 4, scoring touchdowns in the red zone. If Tiger fans have the same thought process as me, they probably were starting to fear that the only points Auburn would score against Georgia would be on the foot of Daniel Carlson, considering he contributed the first 9 points for the Tigers. Luckily for Auburn, they started to figure out how to score touchdowns instead of field goals. And they didn't just find one way, they find a multitude of ways in this game. Here's my favorite scoring style from the game. This time, it's Stidham faking a handoff to Kerryon Johnson, and he fakes out almost every person on the field. Stidham instead takes the roundabout way outside into the end zone before he takes a jump, sticks the landing, and scores for the Tigers. With multiple players scoring in a variety of ways, Auburn can only look up from here. When facing a tough defense in Alabama, players such as Jarrett Stidham and Kerryon Johnson will have to find ways to score that are different than usual, and that will only help Auburn offensively. Finally, for number 5, the fans. Who would have thought Auburn fans would be louder than the fans at Clemson in Death Valley? Well, Tiger fans came into this game ready to cheer on their Auburn Tigers loud and proud. Here's one of my favorite cheers I could hear clearly from the field.
Number 9, Cam Martin on the carry.
It really was great to be an Auburn Tiger Saturday. Auburn fans will have to be just as loud, if not louder, as the Iron Bowl nears. If the Georgia game was any indication, Auburn fans are ready to rock the stadium and ultimately help the Tigers shake up the rankings. Well, those are my Fast 5 for this week. To get my 5 takeaways and 5 keys to victory, visit our website, eagleeyeauburn.com, on Mondays and Fridays to catch my thoughts. Well, if you have been confused about the latest in the Ezekiel Elliott suspensions like I have been, we got you covered. A breakdown of Elliott and the national sports update coming up.
If you don't fix them, sparks from dragging tow chains could cause a wildfire, and that could be scary.
Not smoky.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
See on page 4 that the projections need to be tornado next Thursday?
Seriously? Thursday? Can't do that.
This is really inconvenient.
I have yoga that day. I have no time for this.
So, I can't do Thursday, but I can do Friday.
Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency. Don't wait. Communicate.
The college football playoff rankings were released on Tuesday. Leading the nation is Alabama, followed by Clemson, Miami, and Oklahoma. Auburn is currently 6th behind Wisconsin, with the Iron Bowl still to come.
After the loss in Jordan-Hare, Georgia lands at number 7, followed by Notre Dame, Ohio State, Penn State, and USC.
Boise State made the top 25 for the first time this year, and UCF remains the highest Group of 5 team, which would give them a New Year's Six Bowl bid. Week 10 of the NFL season is in the books, and a few games stood out. On Thursday night, the Seattle Seahawks defeated the Arizona Cardinals 22-16, but lost a key defender in Richard Sherman. Richard tore his Achilles and will be out for the remainder of the season. After the game, Seahawks wide receiver Doug Baldwin said, quote, "Thursday night football should be illegal." This comes just 1 week after Bills lineman Richie Incognito made a similar statement following the game last Thursday.
The Tennessee Titans held off the Bengals to capture their 4th straight win, 24-20. The Titans scored a last-minute touchdown to go ahead. They moved to 6-3 on the year. The 49ers got their first win of the year, beating the Giants 31-21. The win leaves the Cleveland Browns as the only winless team in the NFL.
The New England Patriots defeated the Denver Broncos 41-16 in Denver, with the win giving Tom Brady a record 86 road wins. Staying in the NFL, Cowboys running back Ezekiel Elliott has been suspended for 6 games. The battle over the suspension started in early August, and on Thursday the ruling was held up. Elliott has played every game up to his suspension on Thursday, and the Cowboys will now have to try and replace him. Now, you can't really replace Ezekiel Elliott, can you?
Well, I don't think Ezekiel is going to be anytime soon playing. Due to all these crazy back and forth appeals, he is suspended. So we can't replace him, but we won't be seeing him on the field anytime soon.
That's right.
LiAngelo Ball and 2 other UCLA basketball players are back home after being arrested in China for shoplifting. The Pac-12 commissioner released a statement on Tuesday morning saying the 3 UCLA men's basketball student athletes involved in the incident with the authorities in Hangzhou, China, are on a flight back home to Los Angeles, and the matter has been resolved to the satisfaction of the Chinese authorities. We are all very pleased that these young men have been allowed to return home to their families and university. The release comes after the President Trump's trip to China, where they reportedly brought up the topic to China's president, who promised to look into the case.
Coming up, we'll take a look at this week's schedule for all your Auburn athletics. Stay tuned. You're watching Sports Night in Auburn.
Fans, direct your attention to the flagpole for a special presentation.
You never really leave Auburn, because Auburn never leaves you.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that! That's disgusting! Oh, poop already! You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
I hope that you've been able to learn a strong work ethic surrounded by character, integrity, perseverance, so that when your 1 second comes, you'll be prepared for it.
Chris Davis.
45. There goes Davis.
Your 1 second, our 1 second is now. And our lives have been guided by the principles of one of the greatest academic institutions in the country, Auburn University.
Several Tiger teams are in the tough matchups this week, and we have everything you need to know to keep up with your Auburn Tigers.
This week's main event, football, taking on ULM in Jordan-Hare Stadium. Kickoff is set for 11 o'clock and will be on ESPNU.
Men's basketball heads to Charleston, South Carolina for the Charleston Classic. The Tigers face Indiana State in the first round, and tip-off is slated for 10:30 a.m. November 16th.
You have 2 chances to catch the women's basketball team in action this week. The Tigers take on North Carolina A&T on November 16th and Louisiana Tech on November 19th. Both games are scheduled for a 6 p.m. tip.
Auburn soccer heads to California to take on number 1, Stanford, in the second round of the NCAA tournament.
Equestrian travels to South Carolina to take on the Gamecocks in a tough SEC battle.
Auburn volleyball takes on Florida in Gainesville on November 20th, 2nd at 6 p.m. If you can't travel to Florida, the game will be on ESPNU.
Swimming and diving head to Atlanta for the Georgia Tech Invitational. Competition begins November 17th and will conclude on the 18th.
Track and field heads to Louisville, Kentucky this weekend for the NCAA National Championships, held on November 18th.
To stay updated during this busy week in Auburn athletics, go to our website, eagleeyeauburn.com, or follow us on Twitter at EETV_sports.
From all of us here at Sports Night in Auburn, thank you for joining us this evening, and good night.
I believe this is a practical world and that I can count only on what I earn. Therefore, I believe in work, hard work.
I believe in education, which gives me the knowledge to work wisely and trains my mind and my hands to work skillfully.
I believe in honesty and truthfulness, without which I cannot win the respect and confidence of my fellow men.
I believe in a sound mind, in a sound body, in a spirit that is not afraid, and in a clean sport that develops these qualities.
I believe in obedience to the law because it protects the rights of all.
I believe in human touch, which cultivates sympathy with my fellow men and mutual helpfulness and brings happiness for all.
I believe in my country because it is a land of freedom and because it is my home, and that I can best serve that country by doing justly, loving mercy, and walking humbly with my God.
And because Auburn men and women believe in these things, I believe in Auburn and love it.